Okay, this week is an important week for the Shloishes Amid the Shator Nidreshes because the whole Kiddushin Metz Hashem Bayu Korov, the Kiddushin that we are doing, we're only doing Kiddushin Bekesef. It's the only Kiddushin that we are doing. Nobody does a Kiddushin Bebeer, and nobody does a Kiddushin Beshtar. And so we're doing all with a ring, with the value of money. We only know that Kiddushin helps with the money. We learn it from Kicha Kichim is the Ephron. We learn from, it says Kicha Kikach Ish Isho. And here it's this Parsha. It's also Loshen Yochben Kicha when he buys from the Ephron. When Avrom buys, and since there he buys with money, so you can also kind of make this deal that do with the woman, you can also do with money. So it's kind of a deal that you can do with money. So the Rambam has a very controversial point of view, because in the Mishnah it says you can do Kiddushin on 3 different ways. The normal way, says the Rambam, is the beer. What does it mean? When you get married, then she becomes yours. But there is, because it says in the Torah that you can also reserve a woman, so you can reserve her. In other words, you tell her, I want to marry you. Do you want to marry me? Yes. Okay, let's make a deal. And meanwhile, we have 12 months to prepare the wedding, to prepare all the stuff that we want to prepare before we get married. So we want some time, but I don't want to invest in the wedding if you can every moment go and marry somebody else. So this is called a naruso. And it says that if a woman is a naruso, so in other words, she agreed and she still went off with somebody else, in that case, in some cases, there is kill and not only chenek. The Torah is very harsh in order to make sure that people should keep to their word, because apparently it's sometimes it's the father wanted, but the daughter didn't want, and then the daughter goes and messes around. It can happen, and in order to control that way of dealing with these things, Torah says, so the Torah, if it says in Naruso, which actually is still a besulo, it means that there was never intercourse. So how can it be? How can it be Naruso without that is still a besulo? And there must be a way that the husband can also bind his wife, temporarily bind her with another way than beer. So the Gemara says you do it b'shtar. So shtar is a good way. Why a shtar? Shtar is very similar to a gerushin. How do you divorce with a shtar? So you marry with a shtar. Makes sense that these are so. So says the Rambam, there are 2 betamim Torah, and one of them is only midivrei sofrim. Kesef is midivrei sofrim. That's what the Rambam. And so they all asked to the Rambam. There are even letters to the Rambam about it. Why do you make a difference between this and Kiddushin? So he explained what I just explained to you, is that there is clearly a wedding. Normally a wedding is beer, is when you bring her home to your house. That's kicha. By the way, kicha does not mean Kiddushin. Kicha means to take her in the house. It's interesting because by their nisuin, what they do is they take the color and they lift her up and they bring in the house. So they do mamash kicha, because we also ask the kicha. We say lokachtem lochem yom rishon the lulav. We say no, it has to be a kicha mamash and with the hands and you have to lift up. Yeah, but by the women we don't say that. But interesting, by the goyim they do have it. They do have this lifting up.
It's not a religious thing.
No, I know. It's just a symbolic thing. But it's interesting that by them they have it, and where we should have it, we don't, because likicha in the Torah means, and the Chinuch says it also, normally it means nisuin. But we learn, because it says a word kicha in the marriage, the expression is kicha, it says kicha by. So therefore, so we learn also kiddushin. But kicha does not mean erosin. Kicha means nisuin.
The lifting, we don't do it because we have to leracha komocho, because if she's heavy.
Not to fashion, not to
say nobody.
Yeah. So, but
the man is weak.
Yeah. So the question now is, what happens if a woman was mekudeshes bekesef? So according to the Rambam, the kiddushin is only b'divrei sofer. And so what happens if she goes and she messes around with somebody else? She also chayav misa. They chayav misa, that the man and the woman, they didn't keep to their contract that she agreed to. That's a problem. That starts a problem, because the Rambam says it's only divrei sofer. If it's only Divrei Soifrim, then cannot be a Kiddush D'Oraisa. So the Rambam says it has a din Torah. So there becomes a difficulty in the understanding, and the law has been written on that. I will give you my own shot, and I think that this is my personally, of course, because it's my own, but I feel that it is very close to the truth. Actually, the concept is the following. Divrei Torah does not mean it's not min Torah. I always explain. Divrei Torah means that these are human deduction from a text. So there are how you deduct from a text, and that is how you understand something. So you kind of have a right to deduct from a text, and therefore it becomes a din Torah. But since it is not mefurish, it's not written explicit, like Bia is written explicit, Bilas Baal, it says, and Shtar is explicit because it says Arusa, that is a Besula, and Arusa Besula cannot be, so it must be a Shtar. But how do we know the Kesef? So we learn it from Kichem is the Efron. But it means, in other words, that it doesn't say that it's the Rabbonan, it just says Divrei Soifrim, meaning that this generation of Rabbonim held that Kiddush Kesef is kosher, is good. That means that it's true that in the next generation, a new Bezdin can think, no, they made a mistake, it doesn't make sense, we believe differently, we say Kiddush Kesef, Kichem is the Efron, we learn something else, we don't learn Kiddush Kesef, we want to learn something else. They have a right. You understand? Something that has been deducted out of human mind is, by definition, can be changed in the next generation. So a next Bezdin can change it.
But that has many ramifications then, not only in the Indian of Kiddush.
Yeah, it has a lot. All the Yud Gimel Middos of the Rambam. The only thing that he says, at the moment that they've written down the Gemara Bavli, from that moment on, we don't change anymore. So it's like we have a rule, we accept it, all Klal Yisrael accept it, we're not going to change anymore because it has been written down in the Bavli. But theoretically, we can always change. And that means, that's what he means with Divrei Soifrim. It is D'Oraisa, but it's only D'Oraisa as long as the Sanhedrin agrees that it is D'Oraisa. If the Sanhedrin changes, it will not be D'Oraisa. It's not fixed, it's not the Netzach. It's something that eventually will be maybe the Netzach, we don't know. But in any case, it's not something, that's what the Rambam says. It's only Midivrei Soifrim. But if the best Sanhedrin holds that it is D'Oraisa, that it is working, and she goes and is Mezana, then she's Chayav Misa, like a normal Kiddushin. So the Kiddushin is D'Oraisa, but it still has a status of a Divrei Soifrim, meaning it can be changed the next generation. I always wanted to know the Yud Gimel Middos Torah Nidreshes Ban to better understand. And I thought of I was thinking of giving it over in an interesting way. And I don't know those who are in the call. Are the people in the call?
Yes.
Okay.
That sounds like Lionel.
Lionel?
Indeed.
Okay. What I will do, I'm sorry, I will move a little bit. I hope I won't, I can close it without, it's still working, I guess. I will put the text in the Oil Yankov group, okay? I've written a little text. Oil Yankov. Are you still there?
I am.
All right. Okay. So I will give you to you guys.
Good.
These are the rules. There are 13 rules. And they are all based on the 13 Yud Gimel Middos Sha'at Torah Nidreshes. Okay. So the first rule, maybe take a siddur. Can you take a siddur? 2 siddurim? Oh, 3. Yeah, well, yeah, 3 is also good. Yeah, 3 please.
Regular ones?
Yeah, the article is better because they give a number. They put a number.
Yeah.
it can be written better. I remember a year ago I wanted to do it and I had better, but I can't remember anymore what it was. Better rules for a camp who goes skiing. So the first one is a kal v'chomer, yeah? Rabbi Shmuel Omer b'shloishes matois dashes mohen mi kal v'chomer. So kal v'chomer is a bit of an easy, but it still requires a little bit of a discussion. So what does the rule say? So the first rule says, as we have our own baker in house, so they bring a special baker. So they don't want us to bring the boys klein blood bread and jumbo and Gottesfeld bread. So whoever brings a klein blood bread will be grounded for 2 days, and whoever brings a jumbo and a Gottesfeld will be grounded for 1 day of skiing. And the maximum travel allowances that you're allowed to bring is jumbo. You can bring 10 slices. If you really, for the traveling, you want it and you want, then 10 slices is good. And also Gottesfeld is 10 slices. Oh, doesn't say Kleinblatt. So well, how much should be Kleinblatt? And so here the rule is very simple. It should be, because if a Kleinblatt bread is grounded for how many days?
2 days.
2 days. And a jumbo is how many days?
Only
1 day. So it means it's double as the punishable. The issue is double big. And so maybe it should be 5. And so therefore the Gemara, that's why I want to say, very good. Logically it should be 5, but the Gemara says we say 10. That's why we say it's dayoy. Okay? It doesn't say here in the Gemara, but normally the Kabochim is always dayoy. We don't go more, but we take say 10. So 10, we give him 10. You understand? But it should not be more easy, not 15, 10, okay? We don't go for 5. Let's call the din of dayoy. Okay?
Yeah.
The second part is Gzeira Shova. Gzeira Shova is, the text is, we will have great fun, Bezras Hashem. Last year we had a very disappointed weather, as we couldn't ski for 3 days, but we still managed to have a lot of fun indoors. Fun comes with respect for the staff. Chutzpah against your madrich will be punished with grounding days. With grounding days for you, as we don't tolerate these disappointing behaviors. Okay? So my English here was a bit, to change it. But when there is a chutzpah, you will be punished. A few days you'll be grounded, you will not be able to go skiing. So the question is, how many days? It doesn't say how many days. Yeah? So how do you know how many days it is?
So sure.
Oh, it says disappointing behavior, and it says there disappointed weather. And what is disappointed weather? It was 3 days. So we learn from here, since I'm used a strange word, disappointing behavior, like it didn't have to be written. So I'm learning that like there was for 3 days, was grounding for 3 days, grounded for 3 days. There here also it's going to be grounded for 3 days. Okay? Make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's called Gzeira Shova. I don't know how many days, but since I'm using the same word, I have kind of, and there speaks about exact 3 days. Okay? In the bus, that the third rule is binyanav, because of echo. So in the bus from the airport to Davos, you will sit next to your assigned comrade. Please do not stand during the travel. On a few occasions, we will use a shuttle bus from our hotel to distant ski areas. So then the question is, on this shuttle bus, do we also need to, how do we have to sit? Yeah?
We're allowed to stand.
And are we allowed to stand? And how are we have to sit? So this is called the binyan now. If I have to sit next to my assigned comrade on a bus that brings me to the airport to Davos, then all the shuttle buses that we will travel will also, I will have to sit next to my assigned comrade. Yeah? That's the logic, right? It's kind of a binyan now. I'm learning, he mentions one, and then he mentions something else, but there he mentions some halachas. Then it's logic that to say that is also these halachas there also. It doesn't have to be, but that's called the binyan now. Okay? The B is the binyan av mishnei ksuvim, and that's a bit more of a complicated case. So suitcases will have to be blue and white colored. So in order, when they come to the airport, we want them to be blue and white so that we recognize them straight away. They're not allowed to be heavier than 21 kilos. They're not allowed to contain batteries, but they may contain liquids. The travel bags, the rucksack that you take with in the airplane, must be blue and white colored again, and must fit in the top compartment of the plane. It has to be smaller and not more than 10 kilograms. They may contain batteries, so you can take batteries and laptops and things like that, but no liquids. Okay, so you have some khumras and some coolers, yeah? And your backpack during skiing must not contain dangerous items. They're not allowed to have batteries, but must contain liquids. You need to have liquids because you have to drink, and may not be heavier than 5 kilograms, okay? Now the question is...
What are those dangerous items?
No. Dangerous items, very good. Could also be...
batteries.
Yeah, batteries, I'm sorry. Yeah. This can also be.
Sorry,
Very good. No, the question is, do they have to need a color?
Oh, okay.
Is the color also blue and white?
Okay.
And so here you have a case like that. So the suitcases have a khumra and have a cooler, which the travel bag also have a cooler and a khumra, right? Which are not the same. But what is the tzad hashovesh brand? Is that they have to be blue and white. And so we learned that all the bags that we have in the camp must be blue and white. Okay? Is this understood? This is binyanav mishnei ksuvim. Yeah? So we have two different ksuvim, and then we learn from the tzad hashovesh shebahem. So there's something similar. They are both bags, and they all have a khumra and a cooler, which the khumra that one has does not have the other one, and the cooler that one has does not have the other one. But what the din is that they have to be blue and white, and so therefore also the backpack that you do it during skiing must also be blue and white.
But Tosfos asks that maybe the blue and white was in order to be recognized.
Exactly,
travel.
but
and
then
when you go
here,
skiing, you don't necessarily
exactly. Yeah.
No, but one could answer
What, sorry?
what could answer that in the airplane the hand luggage shouldn't be recognizable because it's always stays with you.
Yeah. Oh, very
That's a
good.
tshuva on Tosfos.
Take it with you. Yeah. But the idea of the blue and white is also so that the madrich can recognize all the people that he can see wandering off, that you can visually see them all together.
Also, sometimes the stewardesses, they change the play because it doesn't close very well.
Yeah. So they put it somewhere else. Oh, that's why he answered already a question. Did you hear, Lionel? So the stewardess sometimes moves.
Yes, I did. Thank you.
Yeah. Then the fourth is klal uprat. So what is a klal? So klal uprat is pain medications. This is any medications that are pain. Yeah. Then paracetamol and ibuprofen 400 milligrams will be available at reception desk. So the question is, will there also be there's a third one, which is the third of the pain medications. You have ibuprofen, paracetamol, and aspirin.
Oh,
Aspirin is a third one. So the question, will it also be there or not? So why? Because it says pain medications in general. And then it gives you two examples. Are they just examples or are they klal uprat? So this is called the klal uprat. Ein baklal elo ma sheveprat. So in other words, it's going to be only paracetamol and ibuprofen, but there will be no aspirin available.
But what is then pain medication?
Pain medications in general. That's a klal. Pain medications are everything.
Yeah.
Can also be aspirins, can be other ones. There are a lot of different kinds of pain medications in the world today. Yeah. And then he gives two brands, two specific particular ones. This is prat. So it's a klal and a prat. So why does he give a klal and a prat? Why does he give a prat? Elomai to say ein bachlal eloma sheveprat. And therefore it's going to be only those two. Although he started off saying pain medications. Okay? So that's called a klal and a prat. The fifth one, what is the fifth one? Will be prat or klal. It's the opposite. Where the Torah gives prat and then he gives a klal. So therefore he said, I say here, laptops, mobile phones, and electronic items must be registered with your madrich at arrival.
In the first watches something.
Or maybe
Shaver.
watches or
Shaver.
shavers or whatever it is, anything that is electronic items must be registered. So he gives the prat, laptops and mobile phones. Then he gives electronic items, which is a klal, which includes also laptops and mobile phones. And so that the thing is, prat to klal, that it means like everything that is electronic. That the two first are not restricting anything, right?
Yeah.
So it means every electronic item must be registered. Then the sixth rule is klal uprat klal. Yatodon elokein prat. So here in the Braise it says already that what we do. Yatodon elokein prat. So what does it mean? Music is allowed to be played in the rooms. So you're allowed to play music. So any music can be played. Klal. Shreki, Carla Bar Fried, Mordechai Ben David. Not all music, but it's already, you start seeing certain direction. And then he ends up again. All kind of music in the room is actually encouraged. It's good to play music. What?
If it wouldn't be written all kinds of music, we'd say only those four.
Yeah.
But since it continues saying all kinds, any Jewish music, basically.
It's mainly, so what am I looking? What is common about those
They're all Jewish.
four different things? They're all Jewish. And maybe even Haredi. Yeah. So basically these are the this is why it's called Ke'ein Aprat. So it's very important that how we would interpret it is that Jewish music, only Jewish music. And then the question is if it's modern Jewish music or it's
Shreki is modern.
is more, yeah, for some it's very modern, and by others it's not even modern enough, and then there's even more modern. And what happens if Jean-Jacques Goldman is also Jewish, but you understand? So then you can start look. What? Sorry?
No,
I think non-Jewish songs, I'm
What?
guessing.
Yeah, yeah.
he doesn't sing.
I think Jean-Jacques is not Jewish.
No?
Jean-Jacques.
His father is Jewish.
Jean-Jacques Goldman?
No, because
Goldstein?
Jean-Jacques Goldman. no. His mother is. He has a song, Anshel et Ruth. I think.
No, of course he has Jewish roots, but I assume his mother is not.
No, I think that his mother was also Jewish, by the way. Both were. I'll check. Okay. It makes it easier for
Serge Gainsbourg.
Serge Gainsbourg, yeah, he is Jewish.
He was.
He was. Okay. Yeah. So this is the very good example, I think, from the klal uprato klal, and because you can understand here the rule that it has. Now the next
You're right. My mistake. His wife is not Jewish. His two wives were not Jewish, and the mother was Jewish.
Mother was Jewish, yeah, because he's got a song where he gives the two Jewish names of his parents.
His parents were called Alter Moshe Goldman.
Alter
Moshe and Ruth Ambrun.
I think he gives their names in the song Boni Day, something like that. He has a song. I mean, I was a big fan. I still am, actually. Yeah.
So hold on. So what's the conclusion here?
All Jewish music, from Jewish music. The Tzad HaShovesh, the Ke'ein Aprat is Jewish religious movies. Okay? Music. What did I say?
Movies.
Movies, no, music, yeah. Then the next one is a very interesting one. Michlal shehu tzorich leprat. What does it mean, klal shehu tzorich leprat? So there he says like that. All must be covered. All must be covered. So it's an annulation and theft. What does it mean?
If you steal something, you have to make sure that the police doesn't catch you.
No. Oh, so what does it mean covered?
Insured.
Oh, insurance.
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So what it means is it's used a very strange word, because it could mean covered means to cover.
Yeah.
But it can also mean covering coverage of an insurance. So how do I know what it means? Elomai, from annulation and theft, I learned he just gives me annihilation and theft as an example to me to understand what covered means. And therefore, health, for example, I also need to be covered. Yeah. So what I have to add is not a klal uprat. It's a klal uprat. All must be covered, and then he gives me annihilation and theft. So only annihilation and theft have to be covered. He says, no, why not? Because the annihilation and the theft have only been mentioned in order to understand the words covered. You understand? If I would not have written that, I would not have known that covered means insurance. I might have understood differently. It means covering mamash, literally. They want us to cover everything. There shouldn't be dust. I don't know what. Yeah. So this is called a klal she'otzorich leprat. The klal is all must be covered, and the prat, he needs the prat, which is to explain me the word. Okay.
So tachlis, what must be covered?
Everything.
Everything.
All must be covered. So it's not the klal uprat, because the klal uprat would have been only what is the prat. If it starts with the klal, all must be covered, and annihilation and theft. So it's only annihilation and theft, and not insurance, not health, for example, Europa systems and all kind of things. You don't have to have that. But since here the prat is only for me, the Torah writes it in order for me to know what the word covered means. Yeah. Yeah.
It'd been easier to say all risks must be insured.
Yeah. All risks must be insured. But since the Torah, for some reasons, wanted to use the word covered, and then we can know why does the Torah use it in order for us to understand something else. So then the Torah has to adapt itself to explain what the word covered means. Afterwards I will give examples then of the Torah, maybe a few examples if you want. Then the next one is a more difficult one. It's here it starts with like that. The oldest of your class will be the captain. So you need to have a captain as well. You have a madrich, and then you have a captain of the class. So the oldest one is your captain, but the captain must be frequent visitors to the camp. So he needs also to know already how the Olach Yeler, and the captains were in the camp last year. And the captains also, they must have been last year. So if he missed last year, then he cannot be a captain.
Even if you're a frequent visitor.
Even if you're a frequent visitor. So you continuously, like, you are giving the oldest, but no, because what happens if the oldest is new, then it's not. You understand?
It's the second.
So yeah. So you have in the beginning, it starts with a prat, and then, but it's a prat it's kind of a klal that gives a shot in the prat, and then it goes back to the prat again in order for but you understand? So you have all kind of it's not a klal and a prat, it's rules. It's to teach us the rules how to choose the captain. And it can be separate, it can be in the Torah that it's written one posuk here, and then 5 parshas later another posuk, and 10 parshas later another posuk, and only together can we make up a structure and to know what it is. Okay? So this is called prat she'otzorich leklal. Now, we agreed with the insurance company that when it's an emergency, you stay calm, be visible, and always call your madrich. Otherwise, you will not be covered by our policy. So it's very important that you stay calm. Okay, that's going to be hard to prove. Be visible, try to be as visible as possible, but you have to call the madrich. So the madrich is really important that you call him, otherwise you will fail in the policy. And then it continues, and it says, when you are stuck on a trip in the mountains, I forgot the word here, if you are in the mountains, you stay calm, be visible, and call your madrich. And it says, continues, and it says, if it cannot be reached, you call your captain. Yeah? So here, it's kind of an extra. So it's part of I'm stuck in the mountain on a trip. So in other words, it is an emergency. And he actually adds something else. He gives an extra condition. If the madrich is not available, then you call the captain. And so this is what is called kol dover shoy bichlal v'yotza min haklal lelamed. Lo lelamed al atzmo yotza, elamed al haklal kolo yotza. Meaning that for all the emergencies that you will have, if you cannot reach the
A lot of on the mountain,
mud-
but anywhere else.
not only when you are on the mountain on a trip, but for any emergency, you have to call afterwards the captain. Okay? Is it understood?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an example in the Torah.
Just so in the first case, it's only the madrich. In the second case,
So the rule was you have to call the madrich to be insured. And then it says another rule that if you go up to the mountains, if you cannot reach the madrich, you have to call the captain. So, but it's also an emergency. So the rule was all emergency you have to call up the madrich. And then you give me a second condition, you add something else. What? Another prat, an extra prat in the din. And then the question is it only for a trip or is it also for other emergencies? And so the Torah says, Kol dover shoyo bichlal v'yotza min haklal lelamed lo lelamed al atzmo yotza. It's not only for himself, lelamed al haklal kulo yotza. So all the emergencies that you have, if you cannot reach the madrich, you have to call the captain. That's part of the rule also for insurance.
So it means that in the first case, when I'm
Yeah.
not on a mountain, there's an emergency. I show that I called
The
the
madrich,
madrich and I couldn't reach him.
yeah,
That I will not be covered.
you will not be covered because you
If I
still
didn't
have to call
call
the
the
captain. I is not written in the first sentence, no, but it's written in the second one. It's written in the next sentence, which is when you are stuck on a trip, because since it was bichlal, why did you repeat it? Elomai, you're repeating it in order to tell me that you did not mention that, but it's also part of the of what should have been. Yeah? Does it make sense?
Yeah. But
yeah. No, but it's with this example, you can think about it. Does it make is there logic? What is the logic behind that? You understand? This is how our Chazal have learned the Torah. And so this is an example. Why does it ring like, yeah, it makes sense? Or are you thinking, no, does not make sense? So now this is called human logic.
According to me, it's the klal prat. First it says
Oh.
you call your captain. And the prat, if you're on the mountain, you can also call your...
Yeah.
It can be looked on both ways.
Yeah, but the klalu part is more for one din.
Yeah,
So it's like two cases. But it's the case which is
It's
part
the
of
fact
the
that
bigger
you-
case.
The klal is that you call your
madrich.
madrich. And the prat is that when you're on the mountain, you only call, you
Yeah.
can also call...
Yeah, yeah.
if there is no reception, then it's enough to prove that you called the madrich. Because why would you have had to call the captain if there was no reception? Anyway?
Yeah.
Okay, but yes, I can understand.
I could have made here also, and you have to make sure. You have to make sure that your batteries are full.
Yeah.
And the second one.
Yeah.
And then it means also that means in general, you always have to make sure, not only when you go up the mountain. But then I thought that maybe it's not exactly the same. So I can't, because then maybe it's part of the next ones.
Okay.
All this is annulled if the rule is you cannot have mobile phones in an.
If it's an well, we're talking about kosher phone. Yeah. Okay, number 9. What is number 9? Kol dover shoyo bichlal v'yotzo tion toin ach echot shehu ke'inyonoi yotzo lehokel v'loy lahachmi. Yeah. So whatever. So yotzo lehokel v'loy
What
lahachmi
means
means
Litan Acher?
what? Sorry.
What means Litan Acher?
Oh, so toin echot it says shehu ke'inyonoi. It's not a toin achet, the hefer. It's a toin echot shehu ke'inyonoi. And I will give you the example at an emergency in the city. So imagine that you are in the city. So it's also an emergency. So it's part of the beginning of the first sentence of 8. Yeah. You're in the city. You stay calm. You be visible, and you call your captain. Hey, it does not mention to call your madrich. So when you're in the city and you are in emergency, then you call your captain, but not your madrich. So where is the madrich? Something.
Outside the city.
So what? Sorry.
Only outside the city?
Only in the when you are in the city, yeah.
But outside the city,
Yeah, when you're on the
you are called the
mountain,
madrich.
you have to call your mother, and if not, you call the captain. That we
Yeah.
said for everything.
Yeah.
But then he says another sentence.
Within
In
the
a
city,
specific case, if you are in the city, you are somewhere in a problem in the city, you didn't go up, but you are outside of the house of the hotel, and you are in the city, and you are in emergency, then you call your captain. So suddenly, it is something that it's a different case, and he only mentions one thing, he doesn't mention the other things. And so the question is, what do I do? And so then it's take yotzel hoke v'lachmer. In other words, then you only have to call your captain. You do not have to call the madrich.
that's the cool because you can claim the insurance. Then.
Yeah, it's a cool because
You
then you
don't
can
have to
claim
call
the
the madrich,
insurance. Yeah. Okay, so that's the second part. So it is something similar, but it changes. There are certain things that were in the previous one that are not here. And so what do we do? So since he repeated himself and he gave specifically only that case, only calling your captain, does not even mention about calling your madrich, then it means that you don't have to call your madrich. Yeah? You don't have to call your madrich. That's number 9. Then number 10 is another kind of emergency. Imagine you are in an emergency of an avalanche. And therefore, he says, be visible and call 112. I think 112 is the number that you have to call.
Yeah, international.
International, yeah. And send out firing signal. So you must have these sends out. Yeah. So that's already very interesting. So it was not mentioned in the previous, in the first sentence. All they have to call. It sends out completely something else. Call 112 and send out firing signals. So what do you do here? Yeah, so that is called sheloike inyonoi. Called dovo shroi bichlal. It was an emergency. Yes, it's an emergency. A specific place. V'yotzo litoin toin acher, and he comes out to tell us things which are completely different. Sheloike inyonoi. It's not kenyonoi bichlal. We don't speak about calling the madrich, the captain. No, we're speaking about firing a signal. So it's something completely outside of the general things that you should do. Yotzo lohokel ulahachmer. And so there, what you do is that you have to indeed call 112, and you have to fire a signal, but you do not have to. You don't have to call any of the madrich and any of the.
So why does it say ulahachmer?
Yeah, it means that that's how Chazal learn. It's one of the difficulties. Yeah, I would have said Yotzul Achmed that you have to call.
And you have to call that other number and send out a flying from.
Yeah,
but
that's
the
a
number. Yourself, you only have to call. You don't have to go to your backpack and.
It's for me. That's one of the all these questions that you will have in your mind have been asked by Rishonim. It's a difficult one because they all seem very similar. The Etzem is similar. It's all you have to do what it says.
Sorry, I wasn't following. Why does it say lohukil ulahachmi?
Oh, so that's what he asked. The Etzem, your question is the right question. It is the right question. What you have to do is you have to do what it says here. You call the hachmer is you have to call 112 and firing signal, and the kula is you don't have to call not the madrich and not the captain. Okay. Now, why is it called the hachmer? You're right. These are questions that the Rishonim are asking. Okay. But that's all you have to do. But it's completely something else. And I will give you examples in the Torah where it is. Kol dovo shoy bichlal, next 11. V'yotzo lidoin bedovre chodosh. And it comes to learn from bedovre chodosh. So completely something else. You cannot bring him back to the chlal till the Torah itself says that you go back in the food. And I'm going to give you an example. Chas v'sholem, you have a terrorist attack. Yeah, when I was young, this is what we were afraid. When I went to camp, I was told by my mother, when you hear shooting, you go down. That's unfortunately, I'm laughing of it now, but this was our youth when it was Palestinian attacks on the Aguda. So when an emergency of a terrorist attack, God forbid, you stay calm. So there, that stays the same. You jump down as quick as you can and find shelter and hide. Point. Full stop. So it's very interesting. He changes the whole frequency, the sequence. So be visible. He says, no, don't be visible. Yeah.
Right.
So he changes the steps that you have to do. You should not be visible. You should find shelter and you should hide. And it does not mention at all, but should I call or should I not call? Yeah. And so this is, I went out. It's also an emergency. It's one of the emergencies. And he took me out completely. He already gave me a different rule. He told me, instead of staying visible, you are hiding. So it changes you. And now the question is, does you go back to the original where it ends up saying, and you call your madrich and you call the captain? There it doesn't mention. Yeah? And so what does the Torah say? It does the Chazal say, unless it's written what I put on the between brackets, if it doesn't say after 3 hours of silence, you call your madrich, yeah, because it doesn't want either you want you to keep your mobile phone in the batteries, we don't want you to make any phone calls to spare your batteries, or in order for sound, yeah. But if you have 3 hours and you don't hear anything, then you can start calling the madrich. That means that we're going back to the original path. Okay.
Meaning, if it doesn't say this,
If it doesn't say that, then it means that what?
You never call.
You never call.
After 24 hours.
Until you hear the police saying, this is the police, you can come out, it's safe to come out. Yeah? But you don't make a noise, yeah? Because you don't know what's going on. Yeah? Could be dangerous. You understand? So this is, suddenly we have this, something originally was an emergency. It's part of the chlal. Terrorist attack is an emergency that went out. And then he suddenly goes off the derech completely. And the question is, but what about the rest? And therefore he says, no, till if it doesn't tell you go back, then no. Then comes number 12. Dover alomed minyonoi, v'dover alomed misoifoi. So what does dover alomed minyonoi? So you have goyish magazine, besomim, and alcohol are strictly forbidden. Zero tolerance on that. Do you know what besomim means?
Yeah.
What does it mean? What is besomim?
Physically or
Yeah.
That's what you what's the
Shabbos? But that's what when you read that sentence, what do you know? What is besomim? Weed or drugs, cannabis. Yeah. So what does it mean? So the ba'atzem, the word means somim, means things that we smell on Motzei Shabbos. But since it's put between goyish magazines and alcohol, everybody understands that it means weed. And so therefore, this is called dover halomed me inyonoi. Yeah. From the Inyan, I know from the context, I know what the psomim means. Yeah. So that's of halomed minyon. Then we have dover halomed mi misoifoi. What is dover halomed misoifoi? So that's annoyances during the night are punished from one result, cleaning the dishes and the bathrooms. And then it says the portable sound system will be confiscated until the end of camp. Okay. You know what's a portable sound system? The Wi-Fi, hi-fi, what do you call it? The sound system. When you connect sound, music.
To make a loudspeaker.
A loudspeaker.
Yeah,
a loudspeaker. Sorry, that's what I wanted. Yeah. The loudspeakers will be confiscated until the end of camp. So what type of annoyances are we talking about?
We can see we're talking about the loudspeaker from the end.
So what does it mean? What type of annoyances?
Loudspeakers.
No, making
noise.
Too much noise. Because annoyances can mean anything. Yeah. Pest, gedrag can also be annoyances. Yeah. We have all kinds of annoyances. But here it means that because I don't know what type of annoyances. It doesn't give me. But since it tells me at the end, it tells me the portable sound system will be confiscated, I know that it's talking about sound system. This is called dover halomed mid soifer. The end teaches me what the beginning was.
What about talking loud? Is it
Oh.
also not allowed?
Oh, so then you can ask, what about talking loud? Is it noise that is annoyances, or is it dafke with the system? Yeah, what?
The loudspeaker.
Yeah. Dafke with a loudspeaker or not?
But we're not getting into it. Okay.
No, no, because it's not a mitzvah. It's not part of the Talmud Torah. This paper. Not in such a way, no. But it's a good point. Yeah. Then the 13th one is a lot in
Is
the
contradicting?
Oh, two psukim that are contradicting zeh. So till the third pasuk comes and teaches me how to be machia b'nehem, that brings harmony between them. So it says Shachris at 7 o'clock pünktlich. Yeah, and then many sentences, and then it says the role of the captain. What is the role of the captain? Is also to go around the rooms of his class, waking them up at 7:30 and at 7:45. He has to go with the bing, 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 7:30 and 7:45. 1 second, this is a steerer. Yeah, it says 7 o'clock and here it says 8 o'clock. So how can it be? And then we find another sentence: making the most of a good weather day is essential to making this camp a success. So is chilling indoors during the days of bad weather. Yeah. So okay. You understand?
Yeah.
So
the
you
good
have-
days, you need to be at
you
7
have-
o'clock.
You have good days, good weather days, and you have bad weather days. And those two have different, when it's bad weather, then it's more chilling. And when it's good day, you go out, you go out quick.
Yeah.
And so the 7 o'clock minion is when
When it's a good
when
day.
it's a good day, when the good weather day, and the 8 o'clock minion is when
It's a bad
when
day.
it's a bad day, when we don't go out skiing that day. Correct? We don't like it enough.
No, because it doesn't say that it's 8 o'clock. Okay, you have to
No,
deduce from
okay.
the 7:30 and 7:45.
Yeah, 7:30, 7:45 is that it is 8 o'clock. Yeah, so that's the question. It's either 7 or it's 8.
Yeah.
And so then there is another posuk that tells me that you have two kinds of days. You have good weather days and then you have bad weather days. So on a good weather day, we all go skiing. We are leaving the earliest possible. When it's a bad weather day, then we are more chilling and we are letting the boys wake up a little bit later. We're down at 8 o'clock and we're having a good time inside of the house. Okay?
Yeah. So what is Dover Alumni? You know, Dover Alumni Soifer?
This is the Goisha magazine and Besomim and alcohol. This is Adover Alumed Minyono.
Yeah, but what does it come to tell us?
Because the word Besomim, we don't know what it means.
Yeah.
Because Besomim means.
So it comes to tell us that the portable, that it's making.
No.
Not.
No,
that's
no.
The Avera.
No, the question, what is the annoyance?
Yeah.
What type of annoyance are we talking about? And therefore he says it makes loud music. Somebody who puts loud music. How do I know that? Because at the end he tells me that this portable sound system will be confiscated. Why doesn't he suddenly tell me about a portable sound system?
That's clear. And the Yud Gimel comes to tell me that there's a minion 7 o'clock.
Yeah, there's a steerer. One says that there is a minion at 7 o'clock. The other one says the shachris is at 8 o'clock. So you could answer there are 2 minion. Yeah, this could be an answer. But therefore they say, no, instead of saying there are 2 minyonim, if you find the third posuk, then Chazal prefer the third posuk, which says, no, there is always 1 minion a day. But it depends. If it's nice weather, that means that we're going out to ski, then we're leaving early, we're down 7 o'clock. If it is not a nice weather, and we anyway not going out, then we're doing it 8 o'clock. But there's only 1 minion, okay? 1 minion a day. They are questioning what does it add to the halacha? Yeah, the last one. The last one is no. It's not something you learn for the halacha. This last one. It's only to explain.
That's what I wanted to ask because the 12 also doesn't have.
What? Sorry.
The fact that it's the
no, the 12 because somebody could say, no, it's not besumim. Besumim read is not besumim. Besumim is so he can tell, he can go to the Bezdin, to the Dain, and tell him, it says Besumim.
No, the 12b.
No, also,
Probably.
because if somebody shouts in the middle of the night, it's not then.
So it's got a consequence.
Yeah,
If someone
halachic
is being
consequences.
annoying in the middle of the night,
Yeah.
And it's not a sound system.
it's
It's
not
not
the sound
with
system.
it's not-
He won't
not
have to
music.
clean up the dishes.
Yeah,
He won't
exactly.
do the
Yeah.
You
further.
say
Yeah.
it wasn't a sound system.
Yeah, didn't do with the sound system. I
No,
don't
no.
need to, because no, that's halacha. It's like the sound system has to be annoying with sound system. That's why it says at the end but you feel, if you think about it, you feel it's very similar. All of them are very similar. If you're going to think it through, you're going to find they all are actually one. It's all when there are two things which are a little bit contradicting each other. Yeah. So either it's a klal and then suddenly giving you a prat. That's a problem. It's this contradiction. Either it's everything or it's only this. So it's always contradictions that is in the text. And it is through a contradiction that we can deduct. Thanks to that, we can think, oh, why did he write it like that? Elomai, in order to teach us something. Okay?
The name of those present and those who are not present, I want to compliment you about this brilliant.
Oh, thank you.
Brilliant text.
Really? Okay, thank you.
It's
Thank
not so
you.
easy to write this. You have to put a lot
Yeah,
of thought into
totally.
it,
How
Yeah.
to-
and analysis and corrections and
Yeah.
this and that. It's
how,
really
how
brilliant.
much time do you spend on it?
No, but I wanted to do it. I remember a year ago, I wanted to do it already, but I had it completely different with foods and what you're allowed to bring foods and not foods and this and that. And then this morning I thought, okay, let me do it. And I was working on this morning, and this is what came out as. But on Shabbos I prepared the 13. You have one of the things which only comes once in the whole Torah. That's why it's a bit of there's only one. So I don't know why you need that, but it's when it goes out of completely like a terrorist attack. Yeah, then it goes out completely. And then only after, if it adds the words, then you go back. Yeah. So which are this case in the Torah? Where do we find a case where something goes out completely? This is number 11. Yeah. 11. It's called Dovo Shoya Bichlal B'Yotzim Dovo Chodosh Iyat Yochel Achziro Lichlol Ad She'achzenu Akoseh Bichlol Befeirush. So where do we find that? And so there is a korban osham. Osham is part of the korbanos. So osham, what do? You shech and you have to split stein shem arba. That's the difference between osham and a chatos. The chatos is 4 on top, and here in osham is like a shlomim that the stein shem arba, but it's like a chatos that only a coin is allowed to eat. It's got like a hybrid between a shlomim and a chatos. An osham, that's called an osham. It says by the osham metzora, it says you shech the osham and you take the blood and you put the blood on the hand, on the ear, and on the foot of the metzora. Finished. It doesn't mention what you do afterwards. Normally, are you bringing on the mizbeach? Are you not bringing it on the mizbeach with the blood? It doesn't mention. It doesn't mention what you do with the meat. It doesn't mention anything. It just stops there. In the middle of just saying, it says, they're bringing, and that's it. That means, like I explained you here, you stay calm, you quick, find shelter and hide. And do I call the madrir? Do I call the captain? Doesn't mention.
Hey, you don't do anything.
So since it went out completely of something else, you have to hide and not be visible, and you have to, whatever it is, it went off completely. As long as the Torah does not put it back, then you tuck it on. And so, because there is a limit that the Osham Kechatos, it says the Osham Kechatos in that posuk, a few psukim later. So it says the Osham is like a Chatos. Why does the Torah have to add? In order to say that you continue the Mizbeach. What? Sorry?
Everything like a chatos.
Yeah. So, like you have to continue, that you have to continue the process. The process doesn't stop here. Because the Torah had to add that on, it means that if the Torah would not add it, it would have to be stopped. You understand?
What
would
would we do
not.
with it?
What? Sorry?
What would we do with it?
Then we would only put it here. That would be the
And the
Mizbeach.
rest of the behema?
No, we would not eat it, or I don't know. We would bring enough, maybe. We would learn maybe from, I don't know. But in any case, the blood is you can't put the kol adam. You can't put all the blood. Part of the blood goes on the hands and the foot and the ear. Okay. I suggest that we stop here then. But it's you have here a very good sefer of art scroll. It's called Muvoy the Talmud, and in here he explains the 13 rules, and he explains it very, very easy to understand. Yeah. So here are the not so many cases that he explains the 13 rules of and what are he brings examples. Other examples that is in the Braise. There's a Braise that also explains, but he brings different ones sometimes in order to be more pedagogical. But this I thought was an easy, bit more fun way.
From now on, every morning I will say Rabbi Shmuel, I will be in the mountains.
That's key, yeah. But if you find better examples, please let me know.
Find or come up with?
What? Sorry?
Find or come up with?
Come up with better examples. Or if you see something on the real text that you find that could be helpful, then I can inspire myself. Okay.
You should maybe teach. So I mean, when they touch the subject, give a special share, because this.
Yeah, it's more.
Otherwise, it's too dry and it's complicated. And for some people, it's easy. It depends on the intellectual level. Yeah. But like this, it makes it more.
The advantage is that this is one case. There's one rule, one case. You have 13. The 13 is like goes from so different. And every time you have to know a nosham. Nosham was not everybody knows what the difference is and how you understand it. It's like it goes with the mishkav and moishav and from a zol. These are concepts which most people don't even know what they are. And so the examples are difficult because you don't even know. Hey, that's why I thought this is one thing everybody has understanding a little bit of traveling, of skiing, and
except for weed is maybe not possible.
For the senator,
you're gonna have to replace that with something else.
I will look for another word that has a double meaning. So if you find another word that has a double meaning, let me know.
In school, we never touched from number 7 to 10. From the 1st to the 6th and the 13th. We never touched any of the other ones.
No, because it doesn't come up a lot in the
Torah,
in the Gemara also not. So, that's what I'm saying.
That's right. We only touched number 6 and 13.
Yeah. And also the 13th, a lot of them hold that it's not part of the 13. Okay. And so they split up, for example, they make it 2. Because it's only, it's nothing. There is nothing that really gives an halachic implications. Number 13. Mm-hmm. So there is a discussion on whether it is one of the 13 or not.
Okay. So we get the link. For those who were not here.
Yeah. I'll give the link, and I put it on the Oil Yankov group. The text and the link, and I will put the recording.
The recording.
Yeah.
The link.
Okay, we should be
maybe give the shear for the Aguda camp in the winter.
What? Sorry, that.
And when they go skiing in the winter, they should have this as the introduction shear.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Ciao,
Bye.
Bye.